Congratulations, you just sold your property, but what are your responsibilities for the next step of the transaction? Hi, Steve Jamrock, Realty Executives Premier. Typically, once you've accepted an offer on your property, the next step of the transaction is the buyer's home inspection. And what are your responsibilities as the owner to prepare that house for the inspection? Well, we're going to get into that in a second, but really quick, just a reminder, if you're looking for information on the Northwest Indiana real estate market, if you want to stay on top of what's going on, if you like some tips and advice on preparing your house for sale or for buying a property, make sure you're following me on social media. Facebook at Steve Jamrock Realtor, Instagram at Steve Jamrock, or subscribe to my YouTube channel, YouTube/Steve Jamrock. So you've accepted an offer on your property, and we're getting ready to set up the buyer's home inspection. And you do have some responsibilities as a seller to prepare that house for the home inspector. Now, the buyer's going to go ahead, they're going to schedule everything, they're going to pay for the inspections, but we have to make sure that you have the house ready to go for that inspection. And the first thing, it's a simple thing, but it gets overlooked a lot, and it seems like a no-brainer, but we want to make sure that, number one, they have access to the property. They have access to the entire house, the garage, any outbuildings, the basement, and any doors, any rooms in the property. When the buyer submitted an offer on your property, they submitted it because they fell in love with your house. The home inspection while it is looking for major defects, it's also providing a little bit peace of mind to that buyer, backing up that they actually made a good decision. So if they cannot access part of the property, whether all of a sudden the garage is locked or there's a room that's locked all of a sudden, it kind of raises, the little bit alarm bells goes off in the buyer's mind, and they're just all of a sudden that trust that they built up there starts to get met with a little skepticism. So make sure that they can access all the rooms and all the accessory buildings on your property. Number two, accessibility to systems of the house. We want to make sure that they have access to easy access to the attic scuttle. We want to make sure that they have easy access to the furnace, the water heater, electrical panel. We want to make sure that you clear out underneath the kitchen sink, underneath the bathroom vanities. Take everything out of there so they have easy access to the shutoff valves and the plumbing under there, so they can inspect that as well. Any items that they can't get to because of boxes are in the way or items are in the way, the home inspector is not going to move those items. So they're not going to be able to inspect that, and that could be, cause a red flag or create a problem here in the future. It could even cost you money for a reinspection down the road. So again, make sure that they have accessibility to all the main systems of your house. Crawl space, that's a big one. Make sure that they have access to the crawl space, especially in older homes. Sometimes those crawl space accesses are, located in a closet, or maybe you threw a throw rug over it because it's in the laundry room. Whatever the case is, make sure that they know where the crawl space access is and that they can access it freely and easily. Again, they're not going to move things out of the way. Make sure it's already moved and ready to go. Number three, if you've done any updates, repairs, or have had anything serviced recently. Maybe you've recently had this furnace serviced, or the age of the furnace and the water heater, if you know the age of the roof, or if you've just replaced a sump pump. Maybe if you have a septic system, you've just had that pumped out. Whatever it is, if you have any of that information of dates, of ages, leave that information out for the home inspector. You can put it on a piece of paper, leave it on the kitchen counter for them. It'll just help clarify some, if there's any questions as the inspection goes along. Number four, my biggie, make sure that you leave the house for the home inspection. Now, I understand nobody knows that property like you, and you want to make sure that if there's any questions, you're there to help out and cut off any potential problems from the get-go. But believe it or not, if you are actually at the home inspection, more times than not, it's going to create a problem down the road. You're not solving a problem, you're creating a problem. And we want to make sure that we're out of the way. Let that home inspector do their job. Let the buyers feel comfortable getting to know your property and listen to the inspector that they hired to give them a little bit of peace of mind. So again, make sure you leave the property. Make sure you take any pets with you. Make sure you or secure the pets. Worst case scenario, maybe you can't leave because of a job or you're working from home. Let the inspector know, hey, I can't leave. I'm sorry, but I'm going to be over here in this room, out of your way. Don't say anything unless you're asked, and just, again, let them do their job. So quick reminder, number one, accessibility, make sure they have access to the house, the garages, basements, etc. Number 2, make sure they can access attics, crawl spaces, accessible to the furnace, water heater, all the major systems. Number 3, if you have any reports or dates of the systems of the house or any recent repairs, updates, services, leave those out for them. And number 4, make sure you leave the house for the inspection. Let that inspector do the work. If you have any questions on this or any other questions regarding getting your house ready for a home inspection or selling your property, please reach out. Be happy to touch base with those. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you next time. Take care.